Thank you, Mr President. This morning I rise to highlight the Tasmanian Independent Science Council and the laudable work it does as a source of independent research, analysis and advice, seeking to bridge the gap between science and public policy by providing a sound evidence base to better empower decision makers. I'm very pleased to be joined in the chamber today by a number of members of the Tasmanian Independent Science Council, and I also acknowledge the many others who were unable to be here. Mr President, the Tasmanian Independent Science Council is composed of a diverse group of scientists and professionals with decades of experience. Members' expertise span a broad range of areas in the realms of science, policy and communication. These areas include geography, environmental science, geology, climate change, ecology, oceanography, marine science, agroecology, environmental law and economics, just to mention a few. The Council members seek to contribute to policy discussions and the broader public discourse by providing sound input grounded in scientific rigour and concern for the long-term health of Tasmania's critical environments, with a focus on forests and fires, freshwater and oceans. Mr President, we are fortunate to have considerable expertise within government departments working under the direction of the government of the day to develop public policy and progress legislation to this parliament to give effect to government policy. However, we are also privileged to have the considerable expert knowledge and vast experience present in our community. It's vital to the health of our state and its democracy that subject matter expertise is brought to bear from all directions in contributing to the development of good, robust public policy. How does the Independent Science Council contribute, I hear you ask, Mr President? Let me count some of the ways. The Council produces scientific reports and papers. It makes submissions to policy and legislative processes, holds public events and educational opportunities, and contributes to media commentary and information. I'll mention just some of the examples of contributions from the Council in recent times. Mr President, it's no secret to members in this place that I've been vocal in recent times regarding the state's inability to deliver a State of the Environment report since 2009. And while I have recently been critical in this space, you can imagine long-standing disappointment and frustration within the Tasmanian scientific community focused on the health of our environment at the absence. As a response to this, a number of council members have rolled up their sleeves and got to work. In efforts to fill the gap left by the long overdue State of the Environment report, they've sought to obtain, analyse and report on valuable environmental data which should be compiled and published by the government as a matter of course. For example, Dr Christine Cogonau published in 2021 a report titled The State of Tasmania's Freshwater, and I understand that she is now working on a follow-up report focused on water use in the state. Another council member, Dr Eric Werler, OAM, who many will know here as our local preeminent seabird and shorebird ecologist, is currently developing a report in conjunction with the Marine and Coastal Society to fill further gaps from the missing State of Environment reports. Mr President, I'm sure it will come as no surprise that the recent direction from the Minister for Planning to the Tasmanian Planning Commission to finally undertake and release a State of the Environment report in 2024 was welcome as a development in the eyes of the Council, and I know that the Council members will also be keenly interested in the scope and methodology to be adopted for this report and to understand the basis on which it will be a framework for future policy development in Tasmania to which they can contribute. On a topic close to home, I note that a number of the Council members made substantial individual contributions to the recent Finfish inquiry, for example, which I had the pleasure of chairing. And I can confirm that I thoroughly appreciated the perspective and scientific rigour of members' submissions to the inquiry. And I believe they were a valuable addition to the broad evidence that was taken and considered.
Yeah.
The final example I'll highlight of an important contribution to policy discourse and development from the Council is a recent one that members will be very familiar with. Council member John Church, OA, alongside others from Climate Tasmania, was instrumental in advocating for evidence-based improvements to the recently debated update to the Climate Change Act. I'm sure many members here interacted directly with John or indirectly with his work in preparation for this recent debate. Mr President, the instances of the Council's contribution to public policy discourse and development is considerable and is made freely available on the Council's website. What's clear to me through engagement with various members on a range of matters is that the Council makes an important and tangible contribution to scientific knowledge and provides an invaluable evidence base on many matters relating to our state's environment. This generously provided independent knowledge and evidence is something we as legislators can confidently rely on. The Council's mission, centred on advocating for a sustainable and healthy Tasmanian environment for all Tasmanians and generations to come, is a worthy one. The Council has a number of projects and reports currently in the works and continues to engage on issues relevant to its mission. Currently, these works include work on the EPBC Act review, Tasmanian planning laws, native forest biomass burning, bushfires, nature restoration, threatened species and coal mines in Tasmania, just to name a few. Mr President, I hope that members will join me in celebrating the value added to public policy discourse and debate by the Tasmanian Independent Science Council, which seeks to bridge that gap between industry, academia and government in the development of excellent public policy. I commend and thank the Council and its members for their excellent ongoing work, fuelled not only by high-level expertise but also by a passionate commitment to our state, its people and its natural environment.